This is Justin Amazon for Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. Take a look at how things moved on Tuesday. I had drawn in a triangle like this yesterday, something like that. So it's pretty cool. We came right back into 1915 with a bullish open, bearish engulfing following that, and the rest is over. I mean, it just collapsed. I'm pretty sure this is close to the drawing I had of this triangle. I think I must have deleted it, but I'll go back to yesterday's video to watch. I said it's going to move one direction or the other tomorrow, and well, it definitely did that. It did end up coming down all the way past 1880.05, and it actually gave a couple opportunities to get in bearish. So with this bearish engulfing candle, it didn't actually break down to this one where we got below that low, but you could have actually been getting in on a retest into that candle here or here going bearish, and your stop up here or potentially up above that pre-market wick. And you can also do a risk where your option on the trade is the full amount you want to risk. So if it completely goes against you, your max loss is the risk amount that you put on the table, instead of trying to figure out where the entry and stop would be. Not much happening with calls here, but puts move nicely. With these two candles, they kind of bookended a rest after battle, and even tried to do a little hammer here, and then that collapsed here with a small candle. Well, first we triggered below these, then a small candle, and then we just came rushing down into this 1893 price from that other triangle I'd drawn. Looked like we were going to double bottom, actually really a nice double bottom on that line, breaking out a lot of bulls, thinking, okay, that's it, we're going higher from here, bearish pullback is short-lived, and we're off to the races. Well, no, that didn't work. A couple, really 15, 20 minutes of just some kind of a stair step here, and then that just rolled back down. So where it was supposed to bounce, really it had to bounce right here for this to be kind of a double, and I'm kind of discounting this, but this being a double bottom, it could also be a bit of a triangle that broke out, and then you're retesting into the apex, and it just, with that candle, it's very clear it's not going to work. People were loading in bearish here, not as much volume. We actually had a lot of volume on this candle. So this one came way down, made a new low on the day, and then got bought back up. All that did was retest right back into this price. It's kind of crazy sometimes having these lines on here, but they work. I mean, look at this, how this line played out. Resistance, support, and I mean support here too, but 3 times it was support, and then here it's kind of indecision point, and then it's resistance again here, just like it was when we first got into this kind of a breakout. So this was the high from back here. So it was resistance, and then again today acting as resistance on the way back down. And it made a high wave candle, inside candle, and then broke bullish. There's plenty of time right here in the 5-minute to be getting in bearish, stop right here more conservatively, and just ride that down into the 1880 price, and then some, So again, if we look at the calls, not much happened. We just lost value all day long. Oops. Yeah, that just resized. There we go. Looking at the puts, this is the 1875 put. I like this one because you have a really nice risk reward, doing 5x4 with that bearish engulfing open second 5-minute candle, and then the low here is 5, and the low here again is 5. And so setting it up 5x4, I think would have filled you here and here. If not, if it didn't fill you here, you could have adjusted the trade a little bit to get in, like 525, something like that. And then your stop is down, still at 4 or 425 at this point. And then you just hang on to that all day, or you take some profits as it roars higher, as the put roars higher, and the stock just collapses. This is your kind of consolidation. There's some higher lows, lower highs, and then that continues, and we ended up making new lows on the day on the stock, new highs on this option, which was really nice too. The other option you could have been looking at, and it was a little bit more difficult to have a $100 risk, but the 1900. So we opened up right at, or we ran up into 1915, and so the 1900 put actually pulled right into $10. And so you could have been setting up a trade to do 10 by 9 with that move into 1915. That would have been a little more risky to do that because you don't know for sure it's going to roll over there. It did end up doing that, but it's something you could have done, or you could have waited till that till it rejected it and then gotten in like 11 by 10 or something. And either on the same candle, or let's see, this one, the low is 1093, so 11 by 10 should have filled here, would not have filled here. I guess it's not a sure thing that it would have filled 10 at 1093 doing 11 by 10. What's really nice here though is you had a really nice hammer candle, a smaller candle. This candle had a smaller range, could have been getting on this candle. You had some smaller candles in here on its way up. And as it went on its way up, I mean, it got nicely in the money because it's the 1900 put. So you had that going in its favor. Let's say you got in 11 by 10 here, and you're just going on for the ride here, and you're in the money at this point, and it's just within a few minutes you're up numerous R's, where the previous 5-minute candle you weren't up that far. So I mean, this ran into a little bit of resistance here on this candle. The high was 19, the high here is 1890. Okay, is it going to hit some resistance here on the put? Nope, it's going to just continue on up, and at this point you've more than doubled your entry. So you've gone from 11 up to 22, and it just keeps on going. It's all the way up to 24, the next 5-minute, and then up here it's like, okay, you've been hanging out for a while. It's all the way up at 25 if you didn't take any profits. But on that kind of run, I mean, maybe take some profits, right? What's nice about this too is it put in a really nice rest here with some really small candles. And so this was just below, this area was just below where this kind of had two candles where there was some resistance right at 19. A pullback into 19, somebody I'm sure was looking to buy here, or at least people getting stopped out because it got below these lows. And so looking for an entry here, doing like 18 by 17, you could have gotten another 10, 15 R on its way back up. I guess 15 from 18 up to 33 is 15. So a number of opportunities to trade this bearish. It worked on a number of different put options. It worked on a number of different candles. Just like we were going up the week before last, very strongly bullish. You had a lot of bearish opportunities today. Some really small candles at key locations that we've had lines drawn in here to trade by. And so just waiting for them to come into those lines was really, really, really helpful today. And we'll see if we get some continuation tomorrow. Looked like we're retesting the 1880 price from below as we're closing. And so I'm going to get rid of this triangle again, if in fact I did delete it, or if it automatically deleted. Anyway, the next line I've got is at 1863.84. That's a no-brainer. Next target going down, and then I'm going to switch over to the daily here. So it'd be great to touch that and bounce from there because we're right at the 21. If we can do that tomorrow, but again, with how strongly bearish this is, it's a bearish gap and go because you're actually you open below the previous day's close. High wave candle, this still has some more room that it could run, just like we had some bullish candles here that moved massively. I mean, in the morning we could gap down and actually open up below this 1863.84. I mean, if we open below that and retest into it, retest into 21, and then look for even a reversal, invert hammer, double top, look for something like that to be a reversal pattern and get ready to take this thing even lower. It definitely could pull back into 1841.30 or even come way down here. I mean, I hadn't even had this on my radar. This X marks the spot. But this would be 626, which is Wednesday's date. And it is not out of the question that we'll have some more bearishness come in and do something like this with a little upper wick. Well, maybe a little bigger. Do something like that, get some bulls thinking, okay, it's going to bounce off of the 21, and it starts to go, and then it comes right back down, and then this is all bearish down here, and we come way down here, and we start to close this gap between these two candles. So that's a possibility. There's some nice support down here with all of these levels. You know, we gapped significantly below that last time we were collapsing a couple weeks back, right at the end of May, or was it the beginning of June? I don't remember now what the date was there. That was May 31st. Okay, so we had a massive gap down there. We could do something where we have a bigger gap down in the morning and just continue lower after some small retest. Last time we were going bearish through this area was here, and before that was here and here, and so we had some support through here, lower wick here, lower wick here, lower wick here. But this one we collapsed through it and then came back and retested to it. So we could even retest back up to 1880.05. Gap down, retest up to it, and then continue lower. I guess the only other thing I see possible is if we do have a really nice bounce and something happens in the market and we actually do bounce and get a bullish candle. I think there's still a lot of sellers that are going to help put some pressure on here and probably stay below 1900. That's right about where this downtrend is that we were kind of straddling the previous 3 trading days, and now we've gotten below. So I think that downtrend is going to be nice resistance here. And then let's see. So I saw it's hard to see this with all lines I've got. So I can see if I can set this up a little differently. But one thing I noticed, and I hadn't drawn this in yet, but this looks like a massive, massive downtrend line. And not just that, and I got to zoom out more and see how this fits, but I mean, what if we have a bigger, and I can't even draw it in here, but what if we have a much bigger kind of triangle like this? And this is just me roughing it in. I mean, we're cutting through some levels here and definitely here, but we're hitting a lot of the lows here, almost that one. What if this becomes some massive triangle? We'll consolidate. I mean, we could come back down into the 1700, low 1700s on this and just chop through here and do that. I mean, this triangle shows doing that through into November, and then see if we can get tight through here. But that would mean what we did on this one. And what's really crazy is this downtrend, this yellow line and this uptrend red line I just drew kind of make this bigger X right here, which didn't really hit this, but I don't know, just shows, I guess, I think it's confluence, where there's just a lot of things going through that same area. But if we have something like this, where you can see this consolidation, and this one went 2 months, this is much bigger, so it'll take longer. What if we could do something like this, where we just go sideways for longer? And it would give a lot of opportunities to trade this in both directions. Similar to this one where we double topped, we could have a double top here. That's not out of the question. So we're just really bullish coming out of this. And because we ran up so quickly and then reversed right here, I was just seeing there could be a bigger thing going on that's holding us down there. Something that other people have drawn, just kind of a slope that's been drawn by computer. I have no idea. So anyway, I'm going to take that off right now. That's bigger picture stuff that I don't get into too often, but it's just something I noticed that could keep the pressure on for where we're at. And yeah, we'll just see how things open up tomorrow and trade the chart. So hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.